Hello students. So today we will be studying about the how the three-phase supply given to the induction motor creates a revolving magnetic field in the air gap of an induction motor. So this is the schematic diagram. You can see RYB phases. We can also name it as ABC. In the corresponding diagram, you will find that the phases have been represented by ABC. So no need to get confused. Other than that, this is the rotor of the induction motor, and this is the air gap. In this air gap is the revolving magnetic field which is going to get created. We will see how. So this is basically the waveforms of the currents which are flowing through all these phases. This is the phase A, phase B, and phase C. According to the variation of the phase currents, the fluxes are also going to get changed accordingly. So I have converted the time axis into milliseconds. So 1 milliseconds corresponds to 30 degrees, 2 milliseconds correspond to 45 degrees, 3 milliseconds corresponds to 90 degrees, and it has been likewise uh, distributed. Now, for analyzing purpose, let us take 3 milliseconds as a reference. So at 3 milliseconds, you can see that what is the magnitude of phase A? Its magnitude is highest, and it is at its peak, positive peak. So if you are going to find out its magnitude, would be sine of let us say this is 90 degrees, so sine of 90 degrees would be 1, magnitude 1. Okay, and for the other two phases, that is B and C, the B phase is it is coming to 210 degrees, and phase C is at 330 degrees. So the magnitudes of phase B and phase C would be 0.5, 0.5, and both in the negative direction. So correspondingly, we have to understand what would be the magnitudes, and then we can draw the phasor diagram. So for first one, we have taken that plus, it is plus 1 in magnitude. Okay, and the other that is the phase B is at 0.5, it's minus 0.5. So originally it would have been in this direction, but here we have to find out the minus 0.5. So minus 0.5 would be extrapolated in the negative direction, and its magnitude is just 0.5. So this is bigger than the phase A vector is bigger than phase B vector, because its magnitude is 1 and its magnitude is 0.5. And coming to the phase C, its original direction would be this phi C, but here it is minus 0.5, so it is going to be it is going to be extrapolated in that direction. So these are phi A, phi B, phi C, three phase vectors. When you are going to sum them, the phases sum would be in the direction of the vector A, and this vector A, its magnitude, you do some trigonometric calculations, you find that the direction of the resultant vector is that of the direction of phi A, and its magnitude is 1.5. For next instance, if we have to find out the magnitude of the flux at 5 milliseconds, so at 5 milliseconds, as you can see from the diagram, that the sine of 150 degrees would be that of phase A, sine of 30 degrees is the magnitude of the flux phi B, and that sine of 270 degrees is of fluxes in the phase C. So these three are going to be written here, and when you calculate it, one is going to be 0.5, another one is 0.5, positive 0.5, and the phase C is having a magnitude of -1. So you can draw the vector of this as well. The vector has been drawn here. Would like to explain it to you. right? So this is phi a, that is in the positive direction of 120 degrees phase displaced. Phi b, which is having a magnitude of zero point 0.5, and phi a is also having magnitude of zero point 0.5, both of these, and phi c, which originally should have been in this direction, but here we require minus zero point 0.5, so extrapolated in the other direction. The phase sum of these three will give you a vector of magnitude 1.5 in the direction of phi c, the longest vector, and the angle by which it has now rotated, we can analyze that it has been rotated by an angle of 60 degrees. Next, for the third instant of time, let us consider at 7 milliseconds what is the nature of the fluxes. At 7 milliseconds, IA would be a sine of 210 degrees, phase B would be sine of 90 degrees, and phase C would be 330 degrees. And correspondingly, the magnitudes of the phi A, phi B, phi C would be minus 0.5, 1, and minus 0.5. And we have drawn the vector here. This is the first one is of phi a. Phi a is minus 0.5. When we are saying minus 0.5, the original direction was this one, but here it is minus 0.5, so we have drawn it in this direction. This is phi a, and then phi b is positive 1, and phi c is negative 0.5. So originally it would have been in that direction, but extrapolated it to get the minus 0.5. The resultant of these three will give you magnitude wise 1.5, and it has revolved from the reference axis by an angle of 120 degrees. So we can conclude that at every 2 milliseconds, the phasor is revolving at an angle of 60 degrees. So let us take instant when it has moved by an angle of here it's 7 milliseconds, so we have taken 13 milliseconds. At 13 milliseconds, what would be the nature if we have to infer? Like, so at 13 milliseconds, we can identify that the phase B is at its negative maximum peak, and the phase C and B are at 270 degrees and 150 degrees. Correspondingly, we have drawn the phasor diagram. At phi A is positive 0.5, and phi B is minus 1. So this was the positive direction. This was the positive direction. And the positive, here we have minus 1. So for minus 1, we have to draw it in the opposite direction, and phi c is positive. So the resultant of these three will give you the vector 1.5 in magnitude, and calculating from the reference vector, it has revolved by an angle of 180 degree. Sorry, not 180 degrees. This 180 degrees with reference to that of 1.5 at 7 milliseconds. So what was the direction of 1.5 instant? It is just opposite, totally opposite. Okay, so we can say that we can conclude that the air gap fluxes are basically rotating, as if there is an NNS pole revolving in the air gap, but there are no NNS poles. The effect is created by the time varying currents in the three-phase windings. So summing up this phenomena, we can say that the stator has three-phase windings wound for a particular number of poles. The windings are 120 degrees spatially displaced, and the stator is fed from a three-phase source, and so the three-phase current flows through them. The phase of the currents are 120 degree displaced in time as well. The combination effect of the three-phase windings fed from three-phase source, resultant coming out of it is a rotating magnetic field. So this rotating magnetic field is basically responsible for the EMF that is cut off the rotor conductors or rotor bars, and which is responsible for the movement of the induction motor. Hope this is clear. Thank you.